Hi everybody, it's Wendy from the Lexington Senior Center today. We sure do miss having everybody in this room. I can't wait until everybody's back and this room is just packed once again. But in the meantime, we're going to do just a couple of short workouts. This is going to be a 30-minute version of our active aging class, so it will be fully seated. Of course, you can stand if you want a little bit more vigorous workout. That's totally fine. But you will need a sturdy chair. So I suggest maybe a kitchen chair. Don't sit in an upholstered chair. I'm going to use some hand weights, but if you want to grab a couple cans of soup or a couple bottles of waters for your resistance, if you don't have hand weights, that's fine. Or if you don't want to, you don't have to use any added resistance. Our music that we're using today, we purchased that through Power Music. It is a seniors CD, so hope you enjoy that. So let's just get started. Find your chair, have a seat. We want to sit on the front half of that chair and get ready to exercise. So remember, we want to sit up nice and tall. Engage those belly muscles a little bit so we have good posture. Sit forward on the first half of the chair, and even if you can scoot up a little bit more to maybe the first third of the chair, that would be great. Our feet are flat to the floor. Just relax your arms a little bit. Let's start with some shoulder rolls. So we're going to roll towards the back of the room. And really our warm-up, yes, is to warm up the body, get the blood flowing a little bit, but it's also to sort of bring our mind centered and get ready to start exercising. Let's go ahead and circle those wrists a little bit. I bet you didn't recognize me with all this long hair, but yes, it is me. Not only do I have a little bit of extra hair, I got a few more pounds on me. You know how that is. Let's go ahead and wiggle those fingers a little bit. And just swing those arms front to back, nice and loose. Start to lubricate those shoulders a little bit. I know it can be tough stuck in the house, particularly if you live alone. So it helps if you can get outside just a little bit. Let's cross those arms. Even if you just step out on the front porch and get some fresh air and some sunshine, that usually helps with your mood a little bit. We'll relax the arms. Let's just start with some toe taps, right and left, nice and easy. Think about spreading the toes apart a little bit as you tap the toe and flex the foot. And then we'll go from a toe tap to a heel lift. We want to push the ball of the foot down into the floor. Bring those heels up and down. So pump a little bit more blood into the calf, but start to lubricate those ankle joints. We're going to put those together. So I'm going to tap the toe and then the heel. Toe, toe, heel, heel. Toe, toe, heel, heel. Trying to maintain that good posture as best we can. Good, a couple more. Toe, toe, heel, heel. Good, wiggle your toes inside your shoes. Maybe spread those toes apart. Curl those toes under. And it is totally fine to do this workout barefoot. Actually, since you're seated, you can probably work those muscles of the feet really well without worrying about any type of issues with the foot, particularly if you have diabetes. Sometimes we don't like to go barefoot. But if you're staying in that seated position, you should be okay. Let's start pushing the legs out nice and long, tapping the toe, but tapping all the way through the leg. We're going to point the toe. Let's work same arm as leg. Give it a nice big push. Good, we're going to keep the feet going. All I want you to do is take the arm and work opposite arm from leg. So it's going to be my right leg, but my left arm, and vice versa. And we want to try to keep everything moving as much as possible. Let's flex the foot. Keep everything moving, but go back to that same arm as leg. Same arm as leg. Good, a couple more. I'm just going to switch the arms. The arms are going side. Still flexing the foot. Let's work both arms, same time. We're gonna stop the feet, pump the heels up and down. Just bending and straightening those arms. Let's take it down a little bit to a bicep curl. You work a speed that feels comfortable for you. Right now, I'm just working through a range of motion. I'm not trying to contract those muscles too much. Stop those arms, tap the toes, up and down, both feet. Let's tap them out and in. So out, in, but still tapping up, down. Good, we're going center, the heels come up and down. Heels go out and in. So my knees are gonna follow my toes. So my knees are gonna work inside a little bit. Good, we're gonna go to a march. Now, a seated march can sometimes cause some discomfort in your hip flexors, particularly if they're fatigued. So if you don't want to do a march, you can just tap those heels up and down. Anytime we march, you can tap those heels up and down instead, or maybe give me some toe taps. We just want to make sure we keep moving that lower body a little bit. Let's take the feet wider. Let's work in and out. So it's in and out, in and out. Nice and tall with that upper body. Couple more. Stay in the center, pump the heels. Open and close those hands. Spread those fingers wide and then close with a gentle fist. When we march, let's march with the left foot first. Left, right, out and in with the left foot. Out and in, out and in, out and in. Good. Keep the legs moving. You can always do those heel pumps. Couple more. Let's go back to the heel pumps, everybody. Pump, pump, pump. Keep the heels going, and this time I want you to flex and extend through the wrist. Palm is forward. Good, just flip the palm towards the body. And then go to toe taps, both feet. Stop the feet, push the arms. Front, in, out and in. So let's think about our feet real quick. They're flat to the floor. I want to apply a little bit of pressure, pushing the foot down a little bit to activate those leg muscles. Rather than just laying the foot on the floor, we want to press down slightly. Good, and press front and side. Couple more. Let's push front, press up, pull in, push back. Front, up, in and press back. One more. Just working through a good range of motion. Good, we're going to stop center. Separate the feet slightly so we have a nice stable base. Shoulders and chest front. You're going to give me a little tip. So I'm going to tip nice and slow. Working back to the center. So I tip nice and slow. Work it back to center. Almost like I'm reaching down to pick up that TV remote off the floor. I'm going to take the armpit towards the hip. And it's more of a side bend than a lean. So watch this, you're not shifting all your weight into that one hip. Couple more. Breathe in nice and steady. We get back to center, couple good shoulder rolls. Pick up that right hand and pat yourself on the back. See if you can get that elbow up nice and high. Now typically what happens is we start to drop our chin, so just bring the chin up. Let's switch sides, pat yourself on the back. I don't know about you, but that's the first pat on the back I've gotten in months and months. Let's take those arms around, give a nice big hug. And then we'll switch that arm on top. Good, releasing, couple good shoulder rolls. We're gonna scoot back in the chair. So you might find that the feet aren't flat to the floor. If you're like me, I'm a little vertically challenged, so got those short legs. Sometimes my feet don't hit the floor, but we want to sit up nice and tall. We're just going to work some leg extensions. So the hands can be in the lap, or you can take the arms to your side, whatever feels most comfortable for you. But I'm going to kick out, I'm going to point the foot, I'm going to flex the foot, and then I'm going to release the leg to the floor. So I kick out, I point, I flex, and then I release. You go at a speed that feels right for you. Everybody's leg length is different. We'll just alternate sides. So I'm going to lift, point, flex, and release. Lift, point, flex, and release. So as we extend, focus on the muscles in that thigh, the front of the leg, and then as we bend, think about the way the back of the leg feels a little bit. So I kick out, point, flex, curl. Kick out, point, flex, curl. Good, breath should just be steady. We're not really lifting the leg up off of the chair, we're just extending the leg. Extend, point, flex, and in. Extend, point, flex, and in. Maybe one or two more. Remember, you can always take a break whenever you want, particularly if you haven't been exercising since we've been inside. You might find that you'll have to back off a little bit. Good, relax it. Give those legs a little bit of a shake. So I'm going to take the hand center, and then I'm just going to rotate a little bit. It's almost like I'm placing something on the end table. Next to me, I change my mind, I bring it back to the center. And then I go to place it on this table, and I change my mind, I bring it back to the center. So a little bit of trunk rotation. We don't want to force it, but we do want to try to rotate the trunk. Twist help create flexibility through the spine and the core muscles, but they also really encourage good health for your internal organs. They give those internal organs a squeeze and push all those toxins out. And then if we drink lots of water, we can flush those toxins from the body. Good, we'll work center. Just relax, give this shake a little bit. We're still at the back of the chair. I'm just going to tip forward and let the head follow. So you're going to see more of the top of my head. Just going to hold nice and steady, let that lower back stretch. Going to pull the tummy in just a little bit and roll up nice and slow. Coming up the spine slow, roll in those shoulders. Let's go ahead and pick up our hand weights. And then when we get the hand weights, we're going to scoot forward again so that we can get our feet flat. It's usually best if you store those weights to the side of the chair. You just want to watch you don't tip out. So I'm going to sit up nice and tall. Place a hand, each hand at your side. We're going to work through some easy bicep curls first. We're familiar with that move. So I'm going to keep those elbows in close to the body. Working nice and steady. If you watch the palm, you'll see that I rotate a bit. And I'm not trying to go with the beat of the music here. I'm finding a pace that feels comfortable for me, but challenging, where I can keep the wrist straight and really focus on contracting those biceps. Check in with those belly muscles real quick. Are you pulling your tummy in? How about the neck? Is it nice and long? So focusing on that bicep, but you're also getting tricep on that recovery as you straighten the arm. Good, we'll release it down. Those palms will stay facing the body. We're going to alternate shoulder shrugs. So I'm going to lift and lower. We're taking the shoulder to the ear rather than the ear to the shoulder. So we've been moving long enough, you might start feeling warm. That's fine. And remember, you can always stop and get a drink of water. Couple more. Good, we'll release it. Arms are nice and long. Just tip only the head gently to the floor. Look at the floor. Let the back of the neck lengthen for a second. And then we'll come center. We're going to work those frontal raises, almost like we're pouring our water bottle out. Remember, we lift no higher than the shoulders. So I lift, I pour the water out, and then I work back to center. I lift, I pour the water out, I bring it back up, pull it back down. Working as smooth as we can go. Nice and steady. You can work that exhale on the hardest part of the movement for you. Most people would exhale on the lift, but you feel that the effort is harder on the way down. You might want to work your exhale there. Let's work one more each side. Good, relax it. Put those weights in your lap. Gently wiggle the fingers and bend and straighten those arms a little bit. Might need a couple good circles of your wrists in each direction. We're going to go back to the weights. I'm going to tip forward this time from the hip. I'm going to keep the back nice and long. And then remember that the head stays in a straight line with the back. You might want to turn to the side so that you can watch your video and not hyperextend that neck. So it's entirely up to you as long as we have good body position. So I'm going to tip. I'm going to reach out towards the toes and I'm going to pull back towards the top of the hip. And then I'm going to work the push away. So I'm working the back of the body, but I've got the tummy pulled in to help stabilize. Work those arms as if you're dragging them through peanut butter. So you've got some resistance working. Squeezing the shoulder blades. Watch that we're not driving the shoulders up into the ears. Couple more. Good, we'll relax it. We'll sit up tall. We'll put those weights back in our lap and wiggle those fingers again. Let's bring those hands together, clasp them, and then push forward and separate your shoulders, shoulder blades. Maybe reach around, give yourself a hug, draw the arms open. Switch that arm on top. Good, nice release. Roll those shoulders. Let's set one of our hand weights down. Then I'm going to scoot over to the right side of the chair and almost hang that right leg off a little bit. My weights are going to go into the right hand. I'm going to lean forward. You can hold onto your chair. We're just going to do a few tricep kickbacks. So I'm going to pull back, I'm going to go back to that hinge, and I'm going to push back and in. We just want to try to make sure we're off to the side so we're not going to hit the chair with the arm. So depending on how your chair is made, you might be able to stay more in the center. So extending and bending, keeping that elbow back. It's not important to keep the elbow real high. You just want to keep that elbow back. A couple more. Good, we'll release it. We're going to come up, we're going to switch sides. So I'm just going to slide over. Switch arms. A little bit of a tip front. So you're going to drive the elbow back. And it's going to stay there. All I'm doing is straightening and bending. So working that tricep kickback. You go at a pace that feels right for you. On this move, we have a tendency as we start to bend the elbow to let the arm swing forward. Just try to keep it back as much as you can. Think about the back of the upper arm. Good, releasing it down. We'll swing back around. We're going to put the weight down. Wiggle those fingers. Reach an arm across, give just a gentle little tug on the arm, not much. The elbow stays lower than the shoulder. Just release the tricep real quick. And then we'll switch sides. Good, release, nice big shoulder roll. We're gonna go back to our easy little march. So we're gonna come to the front half or front third of the chair. Remember, if you don't want to march, you can pump those heels or those toes. So we're gonna keep that march. We're gonna work 2 slaps and 2 claps. 2 slaps, 2 claps. Keep the march. We're going to take the hands and crisscross over the shoulders. So I'm going to crisscross. The legs are moving. You're doing something with them. Slap and clap again. Go. So it's 2 and 2. 2 and 2. Back to your crisscross. Go. Crisscross, crisscross. Sit up nice and tall. Don't lean backwards. Slap and clap, go. So it's slap 2, clap 2. Crisscross, crisscross, crisscross. All we're going to do is take these 3 movements and shorten it. So it's slap, clap, crisscross. Less of each. 2 slaps. 2, 2, crisscross. Let's cut it back. Slap, clap, crisscross. Slap, clap, crisscross. Good. Slap, clap, crisscross. Slap, clap, crisscross. Slap, clap, crisscross. Just march. Let's tap the toe out long. Go. Tap it right and left. Now we're going to do the toe tap long, and we're going to go back to the slap and the clap. Right, so different legs, but same arms. Just slap, clap. Do that again. Now crisscross and keep it, just to refresh our memory. We'll slap 2, we'll clap 2, and then we'll crisscross. Ready, set, go. Slap, clap, crisscross. Tap your toes. Slap, clap, crisscross. Toes are tapping. Slap, clap, crisscross. Sit up nice and tall. Couple more. Slap, clap, crisscross. One more. Just the feet. Flex the foot. Tap the toe, long. We're going to do the same thing but much slower. Here we go. So it's tap, in, tap, in. Do the same thing but to the side of the body. Out, in, out, in. Don't be afraid to reach that leg nice and long. Let's do one front and one side, right leg. So I'm going to work front, side, front, side. Good. Sit up nice and tall. You might think I'm cheap, but I'm telling you, I'm stretching as long as I can. I've just got short legs. Couple more. Good, relax it right there. Open the feet up a little bit and scoot back in your chair. Open and scoot back, open and scoot back. Get back there as far as you can with the feet as wide as you can. Hold on to the chair a little bit, tip forward, hinge at the hips. Press those hips back, stretch. Shift your weight side to side slightly. Just a little bit like you're on a boat and it's rocking side to side, just a little to release those hip flexors. You should also feel a little bit of a stretch on the inside of the thigh. Good, we'll release it center. We'll walk those feet in. And maybe give those legs a little bit of a shake. So we're going to do just a touch of core work. We're going to slide forward in the chair so that the feet are flat. If you come to class on a regular basis at the center, you're pretty used to doing this movement. We're going to keep the back in a nice straight line, and I'm going to hinge at the hips and work the back. So If this is my trunk, I'm going to hinge back towards the chair and let my shoulder blades barely touch the edge of the chair. And then I will hinge back up. I'll turn my chair to the side so you can see what I'm talking about. But really the body works as one long unit together. You can either hold on to your chair or you can take the arms across the chest. Head stays in a straight line, or you can tuck the chin slightly. You just don't want to hyperextend the neck back. Remember, the only thing that touches the chair is the top of the back around the shoulder blade area, and it just barely touches. So we really want to contract the belly muscles, and we're going to work back in that hinge and work it up. You'll know you're in the right spot if you sort of start thinking, where is the chair? I'm never going to make it. And then all of a sudden it's there. So working that hinge, I'll flip my chair just to give you a different view. So I want to keep that back nice and straight. And as I hinge back from the hip, I'm barely going to touch the chair with my shoulder blades. And then I'm up. So I barely touch the chair with those shoulder blades. And I'm up. Nice and steady. You want to exhale on the hardest part of the movement. Just a couple more. So we've got that hinge. Slight tuck of the chin or that nice straight back. Good. Next time you're up there, just stop and rest. Maybe shake those arms, separate your feet a little bit. Make sure those feet are flat. And then lean forward like you're telling me a secret. If you want to, you can tuck the chin. We want the head in neutral, so you don't want to drive the chin way up. Just let that lower back stretch. Maybe tuck the pelvis under a little bit. Tuck that tailbone under. We'll pull the tummy in. We're going to round the back and roll up nice and slow. Let's pick up the right leg and cross it over the left and close the legs nice and tight. And then you'll work the tip forward from the hip. So it can be challenging for us to work our chest in this situation. So I'm going to suggest maybe you do a few wall push-ups. Just lean up against the wall, spread those hands apart, and push that wall away. The closer you stand to the wall with the feet, the easier that's going to be. Or you can do that on your kitchen counter even. Let's go ahead and open the leg if you can. We're going to open the knee nice and wide. Now if you can't get the heel up here on top, you can always cross at the ankles. Just open the knee wide. And we're going to hinge forward at the hip once again. You're doing a lot of sitting these days. You definitely need to add this stretch into what you're doing during the day. But remember, we don't stretch cold muscles. We try to get some blood pumped into those muscles first. We'll come up. We're going to scoot to the side of the chair. And I'm going to tip that leg back and sort of tuck that hip under a little bit. You can hold onto your chair if you want to. You can extend those arms, whatever feels best for you. Think about tucking the hip. Hold nice and still. We're going to switch sides here in just a second. So we'll come back to the center. First we'll cross over, close the legs up. And then that tip forward, that little bit of a lean. We hold nice and still. Let the back relax. Let the hips start to open gently. I don't know about you, but I find it challenging to continue to eat healthy when I'm home. Even if I'm eating healthy food, I tend to eat more when I'm home, rather than if I'm working or out doing things. So just try to deal with that one meal at a time and just make a good choice for that meal. Don't overwhelm yourself in trying to do all these things at once. We are in a challenging situation right now. So we just got to do the best we can. And remember, your best is different on different days. Sometimes you don't feel as good. So your best isn't as good as on a day you're feeling like $1,000,000. We'll come up, we're going to scoot to the side. Push that leg back, get that hip flexor and that quadricep. Tuck that hip under a little bit. And if you're having challenges in getting outside to do some walking, you can walk in your house. Put on some good music. Pick a couple songs and just tell yourself you're going to just walk steady for those 2 songs. Any movement you can do will not only help the body, but it'll help your mood as well. You get that body going. Come back to center. Get those legs a little bit of a shake. Couple good shoulder rolls. Take a good breath in. Maybe sweep those arms up, or just bring the shoulders up. Exhale and shake those arms out. You do what feels right for your shoulder. You certainly don't have to lift overhead. A nice breath in, and a good shake. So I appreciate you doing this little express workout with me today. We will be posting more workouts, so please check back. And remember, you can always take 2 workouts and put them together to get a little bit longer series, and maybe do your walking before you work out. We are here at the center. If you need anything, give us a call, and we sure hope to see you soon. Stay happy and healthy at home.